This is Tell Me Why. It came out on Game Pass several weeks ago, and it's been sitting here on my hard drive for a really long time, and I haven't played it. And the reason I haven't played it is because I wanted to play the beginning on the stream. Story-based games, I don't like to play them very much before I stream them, because I just don't want to spoil later story elements. If I'm going to play a game that's very story-focused, I want to play the beginning and then stop. So you can sort of see the intro, get a sense of what the game is, but I'm not going to, spoil any huge secrets, that could, mess the game up for you, make you not want to pick it up, because you've already seen all the answers. So Graveyard Troubadour points out that this game, he looked it up and he says that it reminds him a lot of Life is Strange, which is not a coincidence because it was made by Don't Nod, the same people who made Life is Strange. This is basically their next follow-up to that game. And yeah, Deathgrow says, oh, this is one of those new Xbox games that came out in August, didn't it? Yeah, I think so. It was around that anyway. There was several games that all came out at once, and this is the one that I haven't played. So I've got a rough idea of kind of what it's about, but rather than throw my guesses or what I've drawn from the marketing materials out there, let's just start playing it. All right, new game. Tell Me Why is a story-based game that takes your choices into account to shape your relationships with other characters. Choose wisely. Now I'm going to have the sound turned up higher than usual, which means hopefully you'll be able to hear the dialogue. We'll see how that goes. Let me know if you can't hear something, because I want it to be audible.
Hey, kiddo. I need to ask you a few questions, okay? Can you tell me what happened tonight?
I went to show her my haircut. She had a gun.
Take your time.
She freaked out.
It's okay.
No, it's not. It's not okay. My mom tried to kill me, so I stabbed her. I killed my mother.
All right, so this is going to be a pretty heavy story. Good to know. The tank says, ask for a lawyer, kid. Did we have a time, a date for the previous scene? Is this in the future after that? See a lot is video games that are about normal people's lives. There's plenty of TV about it, plenty of movies, not enough games. It's actually kind of refreshing to see something like this. Oh, she's talking to herself in the mirror. I do that. Usually I talk to myself in the car. Deathgrow says that about 10 years might have passed. Yeah, Death Crow, I think you're right that the guy we're seeing is probably the kid from the police station. The haircuts line up. From some of the hints I've gotten about the story, that seems like it makes sense.
Okay, first, I'm gonna find the keys to the old house. Then, I'm gonna drive to Fireweed, and I'm not going to freak out. Everything's fine.
Alright, well, before we go out a door, I have to look at everything in my bedroom.
One more season. What am I even gonna do with myself when it's over? Get invested in the lives of real people?
Is that like for a film festival or something? Oh.
Probably not gonna see any stars at this time of day.
Oh, really? You think?
I could look at this artwork all day. Not the prettiest of my creations, but she weirdly kind of looks like me in the morning.
I want to look at these books under the bed. There we go.
Oh, right. I stashed them down here.
Oh, it's a box, not books. Baby Yoda. Oh.
So that's where you've been hiding. All right. I think I'm ready to go now.
Not quite yet. We have so many other things about our lives to look at.
I have got to make solid plans to see the Geminids. I wonder if Tyler'd want to go. Hey, you want to freeze your ass off watching burning rocks fall through the sky? Yeah, I might need to work on my sales pitch.
It's funny to me, like, you know, sometimes it comes across as unrealistic to have a character talking to themselves all the time, but if she lives alone and she's walking around, it honestly is very much like me to be walking around talking to oneself.
I need to bring this with me to Juneau.
Juneau, huh?
I should probably get rid of this. I mean, I can stream it anytime I want, but it makes me happy just to look at the box.
A Journey Through the Stars. It actually kind of looks like the font from Sky Captain and World of Tomorrow. Cool. It's interesting. Looking at these photos, actually, let me look back at this real quick. Look how stylized those characters are. They've chosen an interesting art style for this game where some elements of it, you know, are sort of like, I mean, none of it's trying to be truly
I wonder
photoreal.
if Tyler will even recognize me. Last picture I sent was from the bleaching my hair at home phase.
Okay, so she's gonna go see her brother Tyler, and they haven't seen each other in a while. So yeah, obviously it's not like they're not going for like, you know, Last of Us 2 style photorealism. It's still video game character faces, but they've kind of, you know, they didn't with the photos. They didn't go with just renders of the characters posed in the style of the game. They actually went with something a little more like sort of cleaner lines, simpler colors and shapes to make it easier. I guess they probably did it so that I could read the photos more easily from here. If those were just renders of the characters, I think it would be a little bit harder to pick up from back here.
To that house.
So they're sort of,
At least I'll have Tyler.
they're making trade-offs to make sure that I can actually, like, so they can do environmental storytelling. So it's not just, the storytelling is not just in what the characters are saying and doing, but I can also like really clearly read what's going on in the environment, and that can tell me things about the story too. Oh gosh, all kinds of things to look at.
It's gonna be so crazy to see him after all these years.
So you might be picking up on the fact that Tyler is trans. That's the one thing I knew about this story, was that it was about a pair of twins, where one of the pair is trans, and that was going to play a big part in sort of the emotional story. I imagine that might have something to do with why the kid was in the police station in that first scene. Alright, that's me with some dude.
Michael and Tyler are so gonna hit it off.
Is that the same dude or is that a different dude? I can't tell. From the hair, looks maybe a different dude. Is that Tyler? No, not Tyler. Is that... What was the name? What was the name of this guy again?
Michael and Tyler are
Michael.
so gonna hit it off.
Maybe the hockey guy is Michael.
I should probably check my email one more time before I go. No, I've already done that 3 times this morning.
Okay. So I don't need to look at every single thing, but... Oh, look! Mirrors! Man, mirrors used to be so weird. They used to be such a big deal to put into games. They probably are still a little bit. That looks really nice, though. I remember how impressed I was when Duke Nukem faked mirrors.
I haven't practiced since high school. I'm probably super rusty.
Okay, so we got a character. She is super into astronomy. That might even be a career path for her. She likes weird old movies. She used to play hockey, but doesn't anymore. Her best friend? Boyfriend? I'm not sure who that guy was. He apparently plays hockey. Oh, yeah. Delos Hockey Club. Delos? Wait a minute. Is this a Westworld tie-in? Probably not. And she has not seen her brother Tyler in a long time, and it seems like that's what she's sort of building up to, is going and seeing her brother. She's nervous. She's like, I've checked my email 3 times this morning. She's nervous about it, probably just because they haven't seen each other in so long. Am I going to play Tyler too?
Ellie. She's gonna be so awkward.
Okay, so I can read this. Dear Tyler, you know what you think? I know what you're thinking. A letter? Why all weird and formal? What's wrong with email? Well, I figured, hey bro, I just wanted to give my twin a shout before reuniting after 10 years of swank juvie. Is more like letter territory. Okay, so he just got out of jail for what went on 10 years ago. Gotcha. Whatever, you'll thank me when we're 90, the machines have taken over, and you still have something to read by candlelight. See? Always thinking ahead. Anyway, can't believe you'll be out for real in a few weeks. What? Amazing. I'm definitely going to be awkward when I see you, so please try not to notice, okay? How's your last month going? Are you sad about leaving your mentees? I bet they're going to miss you. Mentees. Okay, so he's been like a mentor, maybe? Like he's been in juvie, but he's been in there long enough and done well enough that he's a mentor for other kids. I got my tires replaced, so I'm all good to pick you up, and you can save the snark for when you see my ride. She's been through a lot, and we can't all be car guys. Anyway, the Vecchies let me take the day off, so we can go straight to the old house and get it ready for the sale and everything. Can't wait to never think about that place again. Oh, so they inherited the house from their mom? And they have to deal with that and probably all the weird emotional associations they have with that. That sounds great. I really can't wait to see you. I don't know if I made that clear. Love you, Allison.
Can't believe I'm about to leave this room for the last time. Okay, I'm pretty much done here. I just need to grab my goblin and I'm off.
So I get the impression that these two are fraternal twins because they don't look enough alike for me to think that they are identical. I'm not sure, though. It's hard to tell because, he's obviously been through so many changes. Some music, huh?
Bummed I have to leave this behind, but the old house would probably collapse if I blasted this inside.
I hope it's not a bunch of licensed music that's going to affect how this video is monetized.
Man, he's going places, and I'll be able to say I helped him on his way.
Huh. Cool, so these are people... Oh, there's something going on with one of his mentees?
Is there any way I can... Nah, that's someone else's problem now. Man, I'm gonna miss that view.
So is he in Alaska? Is this... So the place he went as like a punishment, was it in Alaska? Oh. Interesting. So they've got two books that we can look at and talk about, but the one that seems most relevant to like understanding who this character is in case the player missed what's going on, they've just sort of placed another book right in the middle with no comment. So and that actually makes sense. Like you don't necessarily want him going around and all he's thinking about is how transgender he is, because that is not probably what the experience is like, and so they're not representing it that way, but they're putting it there so that in case you missed something,
I know most of these by
you can
heart at
catch
this point.
on.
Wish I could have finished this before I left, but God, it was a slog.
Jesse Baker asks, "Would you be mad if I put you in my game instead of K2?" I don't know how you would put me in the game unless you're modding characters. I mean, I don't think you can get this hair in the game, so good luck.
Hey, little guy. You're gonna be reunited with your sister soon.
Huh. Okay.
Cool. I guess I'm totally ready to go now.
Interesting. Okay, so in the pause menu, there's collectibles.
The crafty goblins are two cunning little thieves who live under the princess's house. They're always getting into mischief, but they have good hearts.
Okay, so they've got a bunch of collectibles that are. See, it looks like they're all unique, so it's not like there's gonna be some particular look to an item that makes me know, oh, that's a collectible. I'm just gonna have to interact with everything. I'm a little bit horrified by the painful-looking nipple rings that these goblins have.
Bye, Herbert.
Okay, he names his plants. That tells us something about him. Well, again, no dialogue about this. Just making sure that you are likely to notice.
You stay here. Educate the youngsters in classic cinema.
Okay, they're both into weird old movies, so it looks like different types. She seemed to be into like I couldn't tell if it was like sci-fi or horror, but this looks like it's much more of a like edgy action movie.
Denali. I need to get my application ready for next summer.
Okay, is this for the next person who has this? So he's giving up this room? Is this like a halfway house? All right. Yeah, again, lots of little visual hints about who this character is. This isn't the same note, no. I'm bad at this, but just wanted to say you've been the best counselor and out-risk yet redeemable youth, haha, could want. Thanks for putting up with me and helping me in more ways than you know. I'll try to make it count outside Fireweed. Survival is rebellion. Thanks, man. Tyler. They did a pretty good job of making the stuff legible.
Gonna miss these dum-dums.
If I want to get, more clearly legible text on the screen, I can, but I don't have to. They usually include, sort of the text version in case somebody is, say, like has, some kind of like vision impairment or something, where reading really fine or really kind of unclear handwritten text can be a challenge, but seeing it sort of in just really crisp, clear letters can work a lot better. Oh. Deathcrow points out that those painful-looking nipple rings are probably overall buttons. I agree. I still want to read them as nipple rings, though. What? What does that mean? I'm not sure I know what that bear's about.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi. First time we see each other in 10 years, and it's hi, Tyler.
Oh, sorry,
It's fine, Allison. Hi's a good place to start.
God, it's good to see you.
Likewise.
You have anything else you need to get?
Nope, this is it. My last 10 years in a bag.
Then we should get going. We just have time to make the morning ferry. You look good in that.
Thanks. One of my mentees designed it.
It's really good.
Yeah, he's so incredibly talented. I got a couple of local coffee shops to hang his art.
Tyler Ronan, shaping the leaders of tomorrow.
Yep, we're screwed.
So, are you gonna miss anything about this place?
Honestly, people. The other residents, my mentees, my counselor Aaron. It took me a while to fit in, but once I did, it felt like home. They made me feel safe. Safe enough to be me.
That's so great. I'm really happy for you.
We planning to drive to Delos Crossing or push?
You are welcome to walk.
Nah, I'll take my chances.
Need one last look or anything?
Looked. Let's go.
I am starting to suspect that they might be identical, and it makes me wonder if they're played by the same actor. Oh good, I think I needed to get a Game Pass achievement. There we go. Game Pass prizes.
No, really. I am 100% not creative enough to make that stuff up. Oh, and just last week, they had to turn the ferry around because a bear was on board.
No way.
Someone heard a commotion in the back of a delivery truck, so they opened it up. And there was the bear, fat and happy on a literal mountain of empty chip bags.
You go where the food is.
Oh, I can relate to that.
So then what happened?
I'm not sure. I think they couldn't get him to leave, so they tranked him.
Oh, poor buddy. Shot in the ass just for getting the munchies.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. Safety first in bear country.
Yeah, but prevention is best. Common sense goes a long way in keeping them from getting shot.
The bear is fine, Tyler.
For now. You hear they've been talking about loosening up regulations on trophy hunting again?
You know, one thing that was interesting about, oh, what was it called? Oh, there was a show I watched that was set in like an island north of Norway. It was like, you know, in the Arctic. The name of it meant something like resilience or something. It wasn't that though. Anyway, one interesting thing about that island was that if you were out away from the town, you were required to carry a gun because polar bears are psychos. And you were just going to get murdered by polar bears if you weren't armed. And so they literally the police would stop you and check if you had a gun and bring you in if you did not have a gun, which was pretty amazing.
Higher bag limits, inhumane ground traps, even bringing back hibernation hunting. What kind of asshole gets off on killing a sleeping animal? I'm not against hunting, but predators play a vital role in the health of our natural parks. What? Why are you smiling? I'm being serious.
Oh, I can tell, Ranger Tyler.
Not yet. But at least I got the school part out of the way.
I can't believe you've got a bachelor's already. While I boast a half-completed certificate in accounting from an online college that may have stolen my credit card number.
You'll figure out what you want. You have time.
How are you feeling?
Like I'm about to drive straight into a whiteout and my fog lights are dead.
It takes a lot to make a cinematic game like this.
What about you?
I'm kind of impressed that the Don't Nod team. I mean, I'm assuming the Don't Nod team is not huge. I'm assuming they're not like Naughty Dog or Rockstar scale because of the sort of the niche kind of games that they make. So whenever you see a scene like this that is this well sort of like blocked out and shot and everything, I mean, it takes, compared to say, making a roguelike, which has got a lot of procedurally generated content, and and you can replay it again and again and again, and it keeps making itself different. You can make something like that with a small team and still get a lot of hours of entertainment out of it for the player. Something like this where every second of the experience had to be meticulously crafted, that's really hard to do with a small team. And so I'd be really interested in knowing, like, what their team size is like, what their composition is like, what kind of tools they have to make it quicker and easier to make cinematics. We don't have very good cinematic tools at my studio, and so we have very few cinematics, and the one that we have are kind of the ones that we have. So I'm just so whenever looking at something like this, like whenever something just feels particularly well shot and well presented, it kind of impresses me a lot because I know the kind of the work that goes into it, and it's really hard to get to do well.
Allison?
Whoa. Zoned out there for a second. Sorry.
What's up?
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to wrap my head around the fact that you're right here, standing beside me, on our way to Delos.
You don't have to apologize. It's a lot. Why did we take the ferry instead of the coast road?
'Cause I didn't want to be stuck in the car with you for an extra 2 hours.
Ha ha.
We have to take the ferry. It's the only way to reach Delos from Fireweed.
I see. Well, good. I don't think my stomach could have taken 2 more hours of how you handle curves.
I'm sorry. Do you want to take over driving when we dock?
No.
You're gonna have to get back behind that wheel at some point,
So another thing that's worth noting is I can pan the camera around, and it's a good shot of these two characters no matter what direction I'm facing. That's more than just being, just getting someone who's good at cinematography to frame up the shot. That's like somebody has to design a camera system that can do that kind of thing.
Look, I put a fireweed van nose first in a ditch.
Hey, at least you missed the porcupine.
I'm guessing things haven't changed much.
You mean in Delos? Still the capital of East Jesus Nowhere. Can't wait to get out of here.
Was it really that bad?
Pretty much. But it could definitely have been worse.
Like if you'd been tucked away in a center for troubled youth?
Right.
At least you had Michael.
Yeah. I don't think I'd have survived high school without him.
Bet you're gonna miss him when you move to Juneau. How's he doing?
Good. Good. But I haven't seen him much outside of work lately. He's been busy with his dance and helping his clan organize a potlatch.
I don't know what that is.
Is that smoke coming out of Stonehouse?
Guess someone finally bought that old shack.
That, or the ghosts are cozying up by the fire.
Think the new owners know it's totally haunted?
I'm sure Tina did her best to keep them from figuring it out. At least until the paperwork was signed. Ugh. That house always gave me the creeps. Those windows are like huge gawking eyes.
You think people talk about our house this way?
Probably.
Huh. This is
So,
kind of
really
fascinating.
going back there, huh?
To Stonehouse?
I meant, we're going home.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Think the house will sell?
No interested buyers yet. Turns out people don't line up to buy murder houses with no electricity.
At least it's got one hell of a view, unlike Juneau.
Hey, Juneau has mountain views aplenty. It just also has people and fun. You still thinking you might be my roomie?
Thinking about it.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
I was told... after you, graduated, I guess, and became a mentor 3 years ago, you still basically spent all your time at Fireweed, right?
Pretty much. There were a few times I tried to go to these meetups for trans people in Juneau, but something always came up. I probably should have put myself out there more, but It was better to be around in case the residents needed me.
So you were free to come and go as you pleased?
Yeah? Why do you ask?
Oh, nothing. Just being an overly invested sister. Curious how you spent your time.
It's so rare to see a game that spends its time on stuff like this. Like, part of me just kind of assumed going into this that, like, say, like Life is Strange, there'd be some kind of paranormal element or some kind of crazy thing that's going on to sort of justify the existence of a video game about it. Because you expect all video games to be about weird things, to be, speculative fiction or action movie type subjects. But so far, I've gotten no hints at all that there's anything about this except family drama. And that's all. And that's great. I mean, that, like, if that's true, if this really is just about these people and their relationships and, and just, their past and, their past traumas and how it's affected them and all this, like, it feels like part of sort of the maturing of our medium to have there be things like this, like it's not just, weird stuff and novelty and sort of geek genres that the games can be about. It can be about anything. You can have sort of your like Oscar bait dramas or whatever. That just, it feels like the medium is maturing if we're getting things like this and they can succeed. And this is actually one of the things that is great about Game Pass is the fact that a game doesn't have to like justify itself solely by sales. It's like, a game like this that is done really well, but maybe is aimed at a niche audience or is an unusual genre, unusual like fiction genre that that the video game audience it doesn't necessarily have like a section of the audience carved out that just always buys games like this because there's so few of them available. Like a game can take risks like this if it's on a service like Game Pass where the value that it's adding to Game Pass isn't this is the hottest game that's just going to drive everybody to come and get Game Pass. Instead, this is the kind of game where it's about like fleshing out the repertoire of the service, like saying, hey, you can get, no matter what you're into, no matter what you're, like you get Game Pass for your entire family, and there's games for everyone here. This sort of like, it helps sell sort of the breadth of the service without needing to stand on its own individually as a massively successful game. And so like Microsoft is now able to support games like this because they've got this, the whole point is to have this broad offering on this service. And so like, I make State of Decay 2, which goes on this service, Halo is going to be on this service, and Tell Me Why is going to be on this service. And all, and all of them are just sort of, they complement each other and it makes the service better. And that's, and so the game doesn't have to sort of like live or die based on whether or not it's in a popular enough genre in order to get a ton of people to buy it. It can survive based on the fact that it's niche-y, and what the service wants is to cover a lot of bases with a lot of niche-y stuff.
Allison,
Yeah?
spit it out.
Okay, you need to promise not to freak out.
What is it?
It's a gift. From Eddie. I know he's not your favorite person, but
I'm sorry. When you said Eddie, I thought you meant Chief Brown, as in the police officer who arrested me.
come on, Ty, don't.
And your adopted father, the man who didn't let you visit me for 7 years.
The Fireweed administration backed him up, Tyler. They thought it was best for both of us.
Yeah, well, it wasn't.
It's a peace offering. And you're the two most important people in my life. Please. For me.
He can't buy my forgiveness with some cheap-ass trinket.
It's a gift, Tyler.
It is freaking me out that he's holding a thing that he doesn't appreciate at the edge of a boat. Like, don't throw it in the... Like, I don't even know what this ring is supposed to mean exactly. I'm terrified he's going to throw it in the water, and I hope it lets me decide whether or not to do it, because I'm not throwing it away.
You know what gift-giving means in Tlingit culture. And what it means to refuse one.
Fine. I'll take it, but I'm not going to wear it.
Really?
Really. Just so we're clear, this was for you, not Chief Brown.
You know, you could call him Eddie. Or even Uncle?
Hard pass. Did you hear that? Whoa! There's no place like home.
Yeah. Would it ruin the moment if I said I needed to call home?
Yes. Completely.
Sorry.
Go ahead and stop apologizing all the time.
Okay, sorry. Thanks.
It's so weird being back on this boat.
Who's this guy?
Morning.
Hello.
Enjoying the ride?
I don't think I could ever get tired of this.
Agreed. Where you headed?
Delos Crossing?
Same here. You from around here?
Born and bred.
Ah, you don't say. I moved to Anchorage around your age. Delos was mostly Alaska natives then. Clay Kid, Haida. I haven't been home in 5 years.
Oh, so you owed your family a visit?
I'll say. You may not know it yet, but your folks, they get old real fast.
Right.
I'm Alex, by the way. Alex Gershwin. No relation.
Huh?
To George Gershwin. Gershwin, the pianist. Folks are always asking if we're related, so I try to head it off at the pass.
Oh,
What'd you say your name was?
just call me Tyler.
All right. Good to meet you, Tyler.
Likewise, sir.
Imagine if I told him my last name, he might be aware of the crime story.
Yikes.
Hey, I heard that.
Okay, so I had assumed this was my car, but okay, yeah, no, this is my sister's car right here. That's that other guy's car. Anywhere else to go? Looks like I can't go up that way. Remain in vehicle. Can I just chill here as long as I want? How much space did they have to make in front of this boat? Like, I'm continuously moving on this boat. I had that conversation with my sister. The boat was moving the entire time I was like, there wasn't a lot of room for fakery. I think, well, okay, there was a cutscene where they did some cutting around where they could have cheated the location of the boat, but a lot of it was going in real time, like noticing where the house was with the smoke coming from the chimney and stuff. Like, that stuff had to play out in real time, and it had to all be visible at the right time, at the right angle. This is kind of delicately put together. I was talking a little bit about trying to make sure that the player can see the right stuff, and how what a balancing act that is when I was playing Star Wars Squadron earlier. Star Wars Squadrons earlier. And this is trying to solve some of the same problems.
What a waste of a good pun.
So can I just like go down this river for as long as I want?
Hey, Allison. Can we take the scenic route instead of the highway? Allison?
Don't think she can hear you.
Guess not.
Huh. 7-foot canoe for sale. Wait, where is she? Oh, there she's over here. Leave? Oh, okay, so whenever I want to, I can get in the car?
I can see the harbor. We're almost there.
Huh. So, okay, so I'm betting how it works is if I want to just hang out here for as long as I can, eventually we'll hit the harbor and I'll be done. But I can also skip ahead anytime by just getting in the car. Oh, look. Oh, they've got a little gondola going up. Wow. So somebody, I mean, they built this huge, enormous, gorgeous environment that a boat would just slowly move down over the course of the scene. They gave me a lot of freedom to, walk around and spend my time however I wanted to. And if I want to skip it by getting in this car, I can. Or I can just sit and enjoy it. This is so unusual in a game. You don't see this. And one of the reasons why I delayed playing this game was because I was worried that if I played it late at night, I'd be too tired and I would start falling asleep because I knew it was going to be slow paced, right? It's not going to be the kind of game that gets your adrenaline pumping and keeps you awake in spite of yourself. I expected this to be a struggle for me to get through. I've played other games where it's mostly story driven and like I don't even know if I'm going to release my my video of Paradise Killer because I was so tired during that. I was reading so much dialogue. I was getting mush-mouthed and just sort of falling asleep, and it was just really, really awkward. I was kind of expecting this game to be kind of the same way, but it's so well done, and it's so beautiful, and it's just like...
We're here.
Not a lot has to be happening.
Let's
go. Back to the car, Ronan.
Not a lot has to be happening for me to be engaged and enjoying this game, which is... it's hard to do. Ranithcord noticed that apparently the make of these cars is Fjord, which is kind of funny. Alright, so we've been playing this for a little while. I don't want to spoil anything about the story, and so I kind of want to cut it short here. I don't want to keep going. So let's, if there's a cutscene we need to get through, let's get through the cutscene, and then I'll save and quit, and we'll move on to something else. Because, with games that are all about the progression of the story, the last thing I want to do is invalidate people's desire to play the game by playing through so much of the story that they feel like they've seen it. So it looks like we're arriving at our house, and maybe I will leave what they find at the house as something for other folks to discover as they play the game themselves. So that is Tell Me Why. I'm just really, really impressed by what a good job they did of not just making a game that's cinematic using the classic tools of cinematic storytelling, but they also did a lot of very game specific things, giving me control over the camera and still blocking out these shots so they looked really good no matter where I aimed it. Having me just sort of have a lot of freedom to walk around on the ferry and do whatever I wanted. And just the choices they made about the art style, how great the characters look, but also how they gave themselves the freedom to make things very simple, clean lines, simple swatches of color, so that it looks real enough to feel really grounded, but it's also just barely stylized enough. They can also make the visuals just really clean and simple and gorgeous. There's just amazing artistry that goes into this, so I'm very impressed by the team at Don't Nod, and I'm interested in seeing where this goes, but I will save that for my own time later on, and for your own time later on. If you've got Game Pass, it's no additional charge. You go check it out. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Subscribe button. I don't know. Some other videos. I don't know what I'm going to put up there, but there we are.